Hello everyone, I like to share one gameplay of CS-44, but I thought that before I start to share that gameplay, I like to give my own opinion, so review of that tank before that gameplay. So, couple of words about CS-44. So it's medium tier tank in a tier medium tank in a tier 7. It's a Poland and it's a Tech 3 tank. Firstly, the armor of the tank in the paper it's very good. I mean the hull armor is 140 millimeters, which is very good, even in a higher tier point of view. And when we are talking about tier 7, it's very good. Also, the turret armor in paper, it's decent, uh, but to be honest, it doesn't work that well. 150 millimeters turret armor and that hull armor too in practically almost in everyone in a higher tier can penetrate this. So it's in higher tier it's paper tank, but when this can face the tier 5 and 6 tanks and some 7 tanks, it can work very well. But in a higher tier, it doesn't work at all. So tier 7 itself, it's a little bit awkward tier to play because it can face those higher tier tanks, and the chances how it perform on those battles, it's very bad, to be honest. So I will give an armor and 2 star for this. Uh, it's depending on the tier what this can be faced. Uh, if I'm thinking about this in a tier to tier point of view, I would give more stars. But in generally, how I feel it, how I face it, how it works, this armor, it doesn't work so well at all. But that's not a surprise as a medium tank. Firepower, about alpha damage, penetration, reload time, and so on. It has basically 2 caliber guns, 90 millimeter and 100 millimeter, and that 100 millimeters gun has very good alpha damage. It's 300, and both of those 90 millimeter guns has 240, which is decent. It's not bad in any means. It's okay. Some tier 8 tanks have same alpha damage, but obviously what is the bad thing on this is the penetration isn't that good. Uh, it's something about 154, 140 or 150, or was it 160? Roughly about that on those both guns. And with the premium ammunition, it's about something about 200, which is okay in the tier 8 games, but in some cases, but tier 9 games, it starts to struggle a lot. Reload time and so on. It's not the best one, but it's decent. Uh, One good thing is that the stock on isn't that bad if you're using those gold ammunition and so on. It's pretty much same class as the second 90 millimeter gun, and it's okay. Me personally, I like that 90 millimeter more than 100 millimeter because it has better gun depression and PPM is better. But I will rated this as a 3 star. Next, gun handling, and this is the one of the best thing on this tank. The accuracy isn't that good, but it's with the correct equipments and so on, it works just fine. Uh, also, the dispersion factors and these values are very good. So those snapshots and so on, they are working just fine long as you are patient. That it works just fine if you do right all things. So I will rate this as a 4 star. Gun handling is one of the best thing on this whole tank. When we are talking about mobility, uh, it isn't that good what I expected. It's a little bit sluggish. It isn't that fast. In the paper, it's also almost 60 kilometers per hour, but in practically it struggles a lot in different situations depending on what kind of terrain is and so on. So it isn't. It's a little bit meh that mobility, and also agility is okay, but it doesn't feel so mobile. Therefore, I will give 3 star. It's not a bad one, but it could be much better. If this would be a higher, if this let's put that way, that if the power for the weight ratio would work better in this tank, it would be much better. But it's a little bit sluggish. Rest of the features, gamma values, view ranges, and so on, constraints. There's nothing special on this. Uh, so I will give that 3 star. And last but not least is the vibes and feelings, what I get when I'm playing this tank. Well, let's put that way, is that this is one of the better tanks in the tier 7. I enjoy it. But it's not the greatest, not by far, but it's okay. It's fun. Most of the things what I don't like is that this one of the features what are not reaching high enough in performance. It means that I don't get so good result on this tank. I can get that 1,500, 2,000, something like that, but that's about limit. Well, sometimes I get more than 2,000. That when we are going to see that replay, it's a little bit more than 2,000 plus some spotting damage. So not a bad gameplay at all for tier 7, but yeah, it could be a much better. Some side notes. Uh, the gun handling and the alpha is good when we are talking about that 100 millimeter gun. Uh, and also that it's okay that 240 millimeters for the 90 millimeter gun, but that's a very good note. What is in front of me when I'm looking at CS-44. Some situations the tank is meh, and also the reason why I don't play that 90 millimeter gun is that that 100 millimeter has only 6 degrees gun depression, and that's one of the features what I hate a lot in this game. That's a reason I don't like so much, for example, Chinese or Russian tanks, because they had those very bad gun depressions, 5 degrees or something like that. And the reason for this that I don't get good angles in the ridge line. Uh, Summarizing, CS-44, it's one of the better tier 7 Tech 3 tanks in mediums. Not that bad at all. After that, the next one was CS-53 or 52, I can't remember it, but it's much worse than this one. It's really bad tank, but this is good, and especially when we are talking about tier by tier, this is okay. Like I said, it's great on tier by tier, but when this start to face those tier 8 or 9 tanks, it starts to struggle hard, and it's going to be hard hard game playing after that. But in overall, it holds pretty good or very good performance in itself. And now we are going to see the gameplay. Uh, I have chosen this gameplay for a couple of reasons. This is the same gameplay what in matter of fact, I show you earlier that the previous bad habits uh, mm, video. And why I have been choosing this? Um, I have chosen this because this isn't a good one. It's so easy to select the greatest gameplay on the YouTube, and show everyone how good am I, or how well I'm playing and so on, or how well the one tank is going to perform and so on. So this isn't the best one. I do a lot of little mistakes what's what's bugging me, and I like to show, I like to be humble and show that yeah, I'm not so good in I have my moments, but I do a lot of mistakes. Another thing why I like to share this is that this is the battle which is not the best one for this tank, because it's a lower tier tank in a higher tier matchmaking. So this is tier 9 and 8 tiers, what I'm facing on this. So yeah, and this is good example how you can perform in the lower tier tank on the higher tier matchmaking, and why you should always try to play, no matter what the tier you have. Uh, Instead, start to cry about that. I don't want to play this because I'm a lower tier. I cannot wear face. There's nothing to do for me because I'm a lower tier. That's a horse crap. You can always do something, and this is good example for that. But that's enough for my talks, and now let's see how this goes. There's a lot of different kind of mistakes what I do a lot in the beginning, and also mm, what I like to say. Well, let's I cut my crap and let's start to see how this goes.